welcome back. The season of love has gone sour for two lovebirds following the murder or alleged murder of a young woman by her boyfriend, Christian Ifeanyi. Police are now investigating what went wrong between the two, who began their relationship 5 years ago. Although the main suspect, Christian, claims he knows nothing about the murder, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Umar Mango, says police investigations will determine whether or not the suspect had a motive for the murder. Our special report takes a look at the circumstances surrounding the death of this 26-year-old.
The Area E Command of the Nigeria Police Festac Town is located along Mile 2 Ojo axis of Lagos State. This command has 7 divisional police stations under its control with a track record of cracking crime. One of its biggest cases was that of the late Cynthia Osokogu. This time, the command has unraveled the mystery behind the death of Ijoma Nwachukwu, the 23-year-old stepdaughter of a food vendor in the auto parts section of the market at the Trade Fair complex. These are the men arrested in connection with the murder. The main suspect here is this 23-year-old Enugu State-born auto parts apprentice, Christian Ifeanyi Samuel, who was in a relationship with the deceased for about 5 years. Their friendship hit troubled waters shortly after the new year began.
I asked her, what do you want us to discuss? She said that it's a secret thing, so that she want to see me in a secret way. So later, I went to go and buy acids, but I want to make use of it, be washing bathroom and toilets in my master's house. So I dropped the thing at her shop and told her, this is acid, you should keep it for me. When I come back, I will take it. So that she has a pregnancy, 1 month and 3 weeks, and the pregnancy is for me. I told her that the pregnancy is not for me. He told me that after all her suffering, she has suffered for me. This I will use to pay her back. So she said, okay. She be crying. I went outside to go and bring drink. On my way to coming back, I opened the door and meet her vomiting and jacking herself. I called her. What happened? What happened? She didn't answer me. So I looked around and saw the acid was open. So some pour for ground. I left it. Annoyance, and I'm very, very scared. So I'm fearing. I took my bag and ran away.
Another hotel, another crime. Pairing no thought to what the outcome of their action would be, the management of the hotel ensured the body of the young girl left their compound and dumped it along the army barracks fence in the Ojo cantonment area.
I checked my time. I said, okay, this time wrong, this will not have knock. I just knock. Nobody answered me. I now open the door. As I opened the door, the room, they're on the light, they're on the fan, everything they on. I saw the girl on top of the bed. He just sleep like this. He opened my eye. Just no making move. I think
came to me and complained that I will come and see you. Say somebody collapsed inside the room. I said, well, how manage? I said, okay, where the person that came with? He said that person has run away. I said, how can that person run away? In fact, I haven't seen such a thing before in my life. So I was confused. They suggested that you carry the body out of the hotel and put her outside. So that when the body is outside, for 2 reasons. That one, the body will not be caught with us in the first place. Secondly, we put her on the road, passerby will be able to identify her, and her family will be located so that she can have a proper burial. Yes, we put her in the back of the seat, back seat of the car. It was around 9:30.
At night?
Yes, 9:30 p.m. Around 9:30 to 10.
After 13 years since it opened its doors to customers, the hotel in Abuloshu community is now under lock and key. This 64-year-old hotelier, who claims he has sight and heart problems, regrets his role in the case.
It's supposed I know that I was going to go to police, that I must go to police. I will do so, because it does not concern me. It does not concern me, but it was out of confusion. I made that kind of mistake.
If you allow your place to be used for carelessly committing major crimes like murder, who hold you responsible for your negligence. Hotel business is a very serious business. Serious in the fact that somebody will leave his home, his comfortable home somewhere. So for that period of his stay, if you decide to take his money, you must ensure that he has enough security.
The late Ijoma Nwachukwu cannot tell her version of the story. The police will have to dig deep to totally unravel this mystery. What is clear to the police, however, is that the victim could have been saved if she had received quick medical attention.
Well, speaking of quick medical attention, the World Cancer Day has come and gone, but medical experts are asking Nigerians to remember the reason why the day was instituted. A battle against cancer is not over and will only be over when one where changed lifestyles and early detection through regular health checks become the norm. On our Focus on Health segment tonight, we examine the issues surrounding the prevalence of cancer.
Abnormal cells dividing, growing, and spreading beyond their borders. These cells invade and compromise the tissues of the body wherever they are found. Cancer is by no means an unknown scourge, but it has been receiving renewed attention in recent times. This is because increasing numbers of people are dying from it, yet cancer can be prevented and cured in many instances. But why are people falling prey?
Late detection, especially for prostate cancer. If you wait for when you're going off to go and urinate, you feel a golf ball, feeling in your groin area, or you're seeing blood in your urine, even for cervical cancer, it's late. So actually, the teaching is that you don't need to have any symptoms at all. As an individual, when you need to at least go for a medical checkup once a year and twice a year.
The worst part of the story is that by the time symptoms show up, it's getting late. But doctors have not been sitting idly by.
We are also training healthcare providers to be more sensitive, have a higher clinical index of suspicion for cancers, so that they include them in the medical checkup. A lot of people don't even include the screening. They don't even offer it to the population. So with the increased awareness we are trying to raise now, the healthcare providers are aware that part of the protocol for normal medical checkup, what we call normal, should include screening.
Cancer spares no one and has no age preference. People seem to be catching on to the urgency of the situation. Hear what they say.
Cancer is a very deadly disease, and it kills faster than AIDS, I would say. And I think there's been a lot of enlightenment about it. If it is being detected, it's better they give you the treatment as early as possible. And if you are negative, fine, you know how to take good care of yourself. People should go for their screening, for their tests. It's not painful, it's okay. People should not be scared about cancer. There's no big deal about it.
The expert corroborates the words of the people.
A lot of us, or a lot of the population, will rather spend their money on parties, on other things, than go for annual medical checks, which is very important.
Although cancer has some hereditary tendencies, there are many more things which increase the risk of the disease occurring, like excessive alcohol intake, smoking, sexual promiscuity, and a sedentary lifestyle.
So eat healthy, get those limbs moving, and go for regular checkups. Mary Alala Yusuf, Channels Television News.
News now. Here's additional Josh.
Well, thank you, Amarachi. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has called on the federal government to accelerate the resuscitation of the rail system to evacuate cargo from the Lagos port. The chamber describes the menace of trucks and trailers on the roads as unbearable. In a statement signed by the president of the chamber, Alhaji Remi Bello, the 48 hours cargo clearance target set by the government is far from being achieved at this time. The chamber identified delays in the positioning of cargo at the port terminals and inadequate equipment for cargo handling, among others, as the major areas that need changes. According to the chamber, the implication of these challenges include higher demurrage charges arising from delays in clearing of cargo, disruption of production schedules of manufacturers as raw materials are not delivered in good time to factories, and high cost of fund on borrowed funds by importers. And there appears to be a redefinition of customer loyalty reward in the Nigerian banking industry, as Standard Chartered Bank is set to give away gifts, including a brand new Porsche Cayenne. Well, the bank has unveiled its unique rewards promotion to appreciate old and new customers at the Porsche Center in Victoria Island, Lagos.
Getting customers may be easy, but retaining them is definitely not a walk in the park. This picture speaks volumes. One lucky customer of Standard Chartered Bank will soon be a proud owner of this exotic vehicle. Smiles radiate from the officials of the bank, who are confident that the gifts of iPads, smartphones, 5 million naira and the Porsche will please their customers. According to the bank's head of retail banking products, West Africa, they are fulfilling the brand's promise by giving out need-based products and services based on a good understanding of the market.
Standard Chartered Bank Nigeria is here for our customers and here for good. One way to fulfill this promise is to reward our customers in a big way. New and old customers of the bank are simply required to deposit and maintain a daily minimum balance of Naira 50,000 for 2 months, which will qualify them for the mini draw, and if they are able to maintain for 3 months, that will qualify you for this grand draw.
The National Lottery Board was also there to certify the process.
We are here to make sure that what they intend to do from beginning to the end of this promotion, to make sure that it is transparent and that those clients, those customers who are going to enter into the promotion, they all have fair chance.
Focused on driving the retail space, the head of business marketing West Africa urges everyone to watch the space as there is more to come.
Nigerians are very hardworking and very, very aspirational. So what we are offering them is in sync with their aspiration, in sync with consumer insight. So that's what one thing that differentiates us from the others in the market. And we do it consistently. So this is the beginning. Like my boss said earlier, watch the space, and that is going to happen.
Customers of Standard Chartered Bank, old and new, are definitely in for a thrill. As the management says, they will match words with firm action.
During the course of the week, discussions on the needed input from the government, financial institutions, power generating and distributing companies and other stakeholders to ensure power stability in Nigeria topped the discussion at the Power Sector Financing Conference held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The conference, with the theme Private Sector Financing, Support for the Power Sector and Infrastructure, provided a forum for interaction between new investors and financial institutions in Nigeria. On our focus on the economy today, our business correspondent Chimeze Obiwagu takes a look at the power situation in the country and the hope of achieving steady power supply.
They used to have this, what we call, some days off and some hours, but now it is just like, for about how many days now? There has been no light.
Has diminished. It's worse now. We don't have lights like we used to.
I think for now we're having a steady light in Nigeria. I think it has improved.
Different strokes for different folks. That has been the experience of most Nigerians with electricity supply 3 months after the successful privatization of PHCN. Many have thought that with the handover, blackout will become history. But this can only be a wish for now. respond to the prevailing challenges.
We also have a new dimension where there is some sabotage of the gas pipelines and so on. So I think we have to strengthen. It's no use just repairing pipelines and you don't strengthen the efforts to protect them.
And finding a solution to some of these challenges is what informed this conference that brought together government officials, financial institutions, and the new investors.
It is a long-term project, there's absolutely no doubt about that. But with the quality of the investors and the determination of the government, I think within a few months, I expect that within a few months we should start seeing results.
As part of its commitment towards ensuring steady power supply, the federal government announced the establishment of Power Sector Intervention Fund with an initial deposit of 300 billion.
If government is sincere with the participation of this intervention fund, over 300 billion, that will encourage the private sector to really know that government is very sincere.
Presently, Nigeria generates less than 5,000 megawatts of electricity, but hopes to generate 40,000 megawatts by 2020.
I think it's achievable because we have 16 years to go. And the way it is, the world is looking at Nigeria. Everybody is interested in investing, which is a good plus.
While the federal government tries to play its role towards achieving steady power supply, many say we as individuals have a role to play, particularly towards ending the era of vandalism. Perhaps it is then that Nigeria can achieve its dream of having steady power supply. Chimezie Obiwagu, Channels Television News.
That's business news this hour. The news at 10 continues in just a minute.
Next on the news at 10, Kano Pillars crashes out of the CAF Champions League. That's in sports news. Just stay with us.